Good morning, students. In continuation with the topic climate, today we will focus on the monsoon and the retreating of the monsoon. The monsoon in India is also the rainy season. So we are going to focus elaborately on the rainy season and the retreating of the rainy season or the monsoon. However, before we begin with the monsoons in India, let us first learn the conditions of the pre-monsoon situation in India and what makes the monsoon winds so intense. Now, when we look at this map, which you can see on your screen, a large area of India is affected by the dry, hot loop, which increases the intense heat of the central part of India. The Kal Baisakhis, which are pre-monsoon showers, about which I am going to tell you next, and the mango showers in the south are all indication of the pre-monsoon time. Now the Kal Baisakhis, as it is known in West Bengal, is a local wind which brings pre-monsoon showers. The word Kal means calamity. The Kal Baisakhi is accompanied by thunderstorms and rainfall. It is very beneficial for the tea and jute crop. Similarly, the mango showers which occur in South India are also very beneficial. They bring rainfall to a limited extent as the rains are not so widespread, but nevertheless, the rain is very beneficial for the mango, tea, and coffee plants. Now, with the sun's migration towards the Tropic of Cancer, there is a steady increase of temperature from south to north. So here we can see how the temperatures go on increasing from south to north. The hilly areas of the north and northeast, however, has got a lesser temperature owing to they being in the northern areas, and also they fall in areas where the mountains are pretty high. An intense low pressure develops on the northwestern part of India. By early June, this low pressure condition is very powerful, and it is powerful enough to attract the trade winds of the southern hemisphere. So here we can see how the low pressure which has developed in this part of the country is bringing the southeast trades towards India. And when they cross the equator, due to the effect of the Coriolis force, they change their direction. So here we can see the southeast trade becomes the southwest monsoon. So coming from the Indian Ocean, they cross the equator and enter the Bay of Bengal over here and the Arabian Sea as southwest monsoon. It is very interesting to note that these monsoon winds follow a southwesterly direction throughout the peninsular part of India, but their direction undergoes a change in the Gangetic belt, where they move from east to west. The change in this direction is mainly due to the relief features, that is the Himalayas over here, and the thermal low pressure of northwest India. Now let us learn about the rainfall conditions of the entire country. The Arabian Sea Branch of the southwest monsoon strikes the western coast of India in Kerala on the 1st of June. The windward side of the Sayadaris receive very heavy rainfall. So here you can see the Western Ghats or the Sayadaris, and the western part of the Western Ghats receive very heavy rainfall. Crossing the Western Ghats, they enter the Deccan Plateau and Madhya Pradesh. So this area, the Madhya Pradesh, so they enter Madhya Pradesh, causing a fair amount of rainfall. Thereafter, they enter the Ganga plain and mingle with the Bay of Bengal branch. Another part of the Arabian Sea strikes the Saurashtra Peninsula and Kutch. It then passes over West Rajasthan and along the Aravallis, causing very scanty rainfall over here. In Punjab and Haryana, it joins the Bay of Bengal branch. These two branches reinforces and with each other and cause rainfall in the western Himalayas. The Bay of Bengal branch is originally directed towards the coast of Myanmar and part of southeast Bangladesh. But the Arakan Yoma range along the coast of Myanmar is good enough to deflect a big chunk of this branch, enabling it to enter the Indian subcontinent. The monsoon therefore enters Bengal, Bangladesh, and southeast instead of the southwesterly direction. So instead of the southwesterly direction, it is moving in a southeasterly direction. Here, the branch splits into two under the influence of the Himalayas and due to the thermal low in northwest India. One branch moves along the Ganga plain towards Punjab, and the amount of rainfall goes on declining westwards. They get drier and drier as their distance is becoming more away from the sea. Due to this, Kolkata over here receives 119 centimeters of rainfall. Patna receives 105 centimeters. Allahabad, further to the west, receives 91 centimeters. Lucknow, 89, whereas Delhi receives 51 centimeters of rainfall from the southwest monsoon. The other branch moves up the Brahmaputra Valley in the north and northeast, causing widespread rain in the northeastern part of India. The branch strikes the Garo, Khasi and Jaintia hills, where Mawsynram is located, which receives an annual rainfall of more than 1100 mm. Cherapunji, located 16 kilometers of Mawsynram, used to hold this record of being the wettest place of the earth earlier. Now, when we look at this map, we can understand how much of rainfall is received by which areas. So, states like Assam, Meghalaya, and other northeastern states, along with Bengal, Bihar, eastern Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, and parts of Punjab, receive a considerably high rainfall to a tune of about 50 to 60 centimeters of rain. The highest rainfall occurs in the western parts of the Western Ghats. These areas, which lie in the rain shadow area of the Western Ghats, remain slightly semi-arid due to lack of rainfall as they lie in the rain shadow area. Areas of Maharashtra, especially northern, eastern Maharashtra, parts of Andhra Pradesh, a considerable area of Orissa, Tamil Nadu, they all remain wet, but they do not get as much rainfall as the areas which are shown in blue. All these areas of eastern Rajasthan, parts of Gujarat, Haryana, they also remain semi-arid because due to the presence of the Aravallis, the winds become parallel, bringing less rainfall in this area. And Rajasthan, being in an area where the rain-bearing winds are running parallel to the Aravallis, do not bring rainfall as there are no barriers over here to stop the rain-bearing winds. Let us now learn about the season of retreating monsoon. Now, the months of October and November are known as the seasons of retreating monsoon. During this season, the temperature in the northern plains begin to decrease because the sun rays no longer fall on the Tropic of Cancer. The sun has now begun to migrate towards the south, so a high pressure begins to get formed in this area where earlier there was a low pressure. The low pressure over here also becomes pretty weak and is no longer strong enough to attract the monsoon winds. This leads to the retreating of the monsoons. During this time, there is a high humidity and temperature which becomes very oppressive, and this condition is known as the October heat. As the monsoon retreats, the elongated trough of the low pressure which once prevailed over northwestern India gets transferred to the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea by early November. Now this is a season when the southwest monsoon gives place to the northeast monsoon. So when these monsoon winds are retreating, they pick up moisture from the Bay of Bengal and bring moisture to parts of Tamil Nadu, Kerala and parts of southern Andhra Pradesh. This is a period which is associated with the occurrence of cyclones, which originate over the Andaman Sea. This occurs mainly because now the land is having a high pressure while the sea is having a low pressure. Low pressure means there is a lot of instability, and that leads to the occurrence of frequent cyclones in the Bay of Bengal. The coastal areas of India, especially Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and parts of Bangladesh, are very badly affected because of these storms. So students, I hope you all have understood the occurrence of the monsoon. What are the factors which make the monsoon so intense, and what makes it to retreat after a long period of bringing rain and showers to India? So that is what we have enough time for today. Thank you.